Many of the challenges within deaf community tend to relate to first responders, police, firemen, EMT people. They don't know how to communicate with a deaf individual. They don't know if they should write, if they should try to use their hands, gesture, finger spell, something. So they prefer to communicate with English, or if they should speak. There seems to be a barrier with that because they don't know how to sign. Sign language is a visual, spatial movement of language where they're relying on grammar, which tends to link with time, topics, and comments. Is it utilized by all the people in the community? Not often, but sometimes you will look and see some people can speak and sign. Some people do both. Some people sign and have no verbal communication. So you need to be aware of all different types of sign language and all different aspects within the community of people who use different parts of sign language. From past experience, the frustration tends to be communication, where they're looking at other people, looking at family members, or ignoring that deaf individual who is the victim. And they feel like victimized twice over because they're being ignored. When you first encounter a deaf person and you're trying to gesture, please be patient. That's the first thing I suggest. And then communicate with them directly, maybe with pad and paper, or gesture, or pointing, some kind of directional thing. And then hopefully an interpreter will arrive in the meantime. For the fire department, it depends if they're in the house or they need help immediately, they will start to gesture right away. So you need to look at that. Deaf people tend to look at body language right away, which is very crucial in analyzing what was going on in the situation. So they need to be aware of what is going on with the deaf person and how they're communicating through gesture. So look at their body language, assess that situation very closely, and that would apply to first responders too. People see deaf people as a second-class citizen, as second-rate, that they can't communicate in English, so they frown down upon them. So that barrier impacts the community. So we need to break those barriers, and there's a way to do that by addressing that person as a first person, understanding that their language and their mode of communication is sign, how they can communicate, and how to break that barrier. Police, first responders, fire department can be involved within the deaf community. And if they're involved, it'll break down the barriers of communication. And also, it will provide direct service accessibility. Often those who are involved tend to know some finger spelling. They've taken some classes because they were curious, or they know how to utilize interpreting services, and they know the effective mode of communication by utilizing those services.